Okay, so we are going to be talking about how functional medicine can help all of us, not only to prevent chronic conditions, but also live a healthier life. So in our studio today, we have Jackie Gans, and Jackie is a certified functional medicine coach. She is going to share her own story as well, how she found functional medicine. Welcome, Jackie.
Hi, thank you, Amita. Thank you for having me today.
All right.
Um, yeah, so I found functional medicine through my own health and healing journey. My health journey has had many highs and lows, and we don't have time for that today. But about 10 years ago, I was really struggling, and my symptoms were affecting my day-to-day life. I didn't feel well. I had IBS symptoms, bloating, gas, constipation, all the cute ones, fatigue and severe brain fog, headaches and blurry vision. And it was really affecting me. I was tired of hearing that those symptoms were normal. And I found a functional medicine practitioner, and I started to implement diet changes and lifestyle changes and taking some supplements. And I really started to feel well. It wasn't linear over the last 10 years. There's definitely been other things that have come up, but I've always tuned into my intuition and gotten curious and come back to these functional medicine principles and practices and getting to the root cause of what's really going on. And each time it's worked. And, I find it extremely powerful. The body is really resilient if you give it what it needs. And what I love about functional medicine is how personalized it is. And so I became a functional medicine certified health coach, so that I could help people feel their best as well.
I think it's a great story. So let's just talk through the framework, right? For people who don't understand what functional medicine is.
Yeah.
So what is the framework of functional medicine, and why is it different from conventional medicine?
Yeah, absolutely. So functional medicine looks at the body as a whole, the systems as a whole. And it really looks at getting to the root cause of what is going on. Conventional medicine, looks at more of what the symptoms are and trying to treat those symptoms. And functional medicine is going to try to go underneath that and really, heal from within.
Mhm. So, okay, so now let's say someone walks in to your clinic with IBS, the same kind of things that you had. So, do you start with like a testing, or you understand what they're like? It could be so many different things. That symptoms, you said you don't look at the symptoms. Of course, symptoms are there, IBS, but you look at the mind body in the sense what might else be happening. Like, are you stressed out? Are you doing relationships or diet? Walk us through that overall journey.
Absolutely. So when someone comes to me, they may be coming to me because they don't feel well and they're just coming on their own, or they may be coming because a doctor has told them to make changes, whether it's a functional medicine doctor or not. And so when they come to me, I look at their whole health history because it really tells a story. And I then, I don't personally do the testing. I can either refer them out or they can see another doctor or practitioner. And I work with them on implementing diet and lifestyle changes. So when I say that, I mean, food for sure is something that we always focus on. Food is medicine. What you put on your plate, what you put on your fork is extremely powerful to help you live the lifestyle the life that you want. And when I say lifestyle, I'm talking about, like you said, stress management. I'm talking about how you move your body, how you sleep. I'm talking about your environment, lowering your toxic load. I'm talking about your mindset and positive relationships, bringing joy and meaning and purpose into your life. And with the food comes a look at how to support your gut as well, because your gut is really important in your overall health. So we kind of, yeah, we take a look at all of that, and then figure out a personalized approach for you. I help educate and guide you and motivate you. I'm here with you every step of the way to build an individualized and personalized plan and help you each time figure out ways to take action, because some of these might be simple things, but it's just about how to build them into your busy life and make them consistent and make them habits that stick.
So I think that's a really good point. I mean, maybe you share your daily routine with the audience, and that would help. Like, you struggle with IBS, so what kind of changes did you make to look amazing the way you are looking now?
Well, thank you. First of all, I want everybody, it does not happen overnight.
Okay.
It takes time. And so, I really did change my diet. I am gluten-free. I am pretty much fully dairy-free, and I'm had to remove a lot of the refined sugars.
Okay.
For that period of time, I went further though. I was removing certain foods that were inflammatory to my gut, like, I removed grains and legumes, and I basically, what worked for me in that approach for several years of my life was a paleo style diet. I somewhat follow that now, but since I've done all of that healing, I'm actually able to add back and have several of those foods more in moderation. I know what works for my body. I know what doesn't work for my body. And, I'm able to see in my system now when I have something, I know when I am sort of feeling that inflammation and when to pull back. So you're saying a daily routine?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think daily routines are important.
They are important, absolutely. Let's see. I wake up in the morning and I do some sort of a meditation. Sometimes that looks like, sometimes I have time for 20 minutes and sometimes I have time for maybe 5 or less. I move my body in some way, whether it's, I recently got a Peloton, so whether it's on the bike or strength training. There are several at-home workouts that I really like: yoga, Pilates, strength training, high intensity interval training. I like to mix it up. I get bored if I'm doing the same thing all the time. I make some sort of a big smoothie for me and my family. And I then, I'm a mom. I have a toddler, so I either mom or I am working and seeing clients. And at the end of the day, I cook for my family and I meal prep for my family so that we can have, nutritious foods throughout our day. Sometimes, I'm a very anxious person, and I know that throughout the day I have to come back to my breath. Otherwise, if my toddler's crawling all over me and yelling, or I'm, right before this, call, we were having some technical difficulties and I'm sitting here deep breathing so that I can, feel present. And I constantly am coming back to my breath. And at the end of the night, before I go to bed, I think of 3 things that I'm grateful for. Those are some practices that I have, and I try to power down my electronics an hour before bed. Sometimes I'm successful at it and sometimes I'm not, but I try to have some sort of pre-bed ritual, and the gratitude is something that I've built in there that I know I can always turn to.
No, I think so. That's what we want to say, that functional medicine is not only just taking a supplement or taking a pill, right? Which all of us are used to. It's all encompassing what to your point, everything like your meditation, your breathing, your diet, your movement, exercise, and gratitude. A lot of things. And
Absolutely.
relationships are important too. Your family.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, cultivating, like bringing joy into your life. Sometimes we don't give enough credit for what that can do to our health and lowering our stress response and lowering inflammation, chronic inflammation in our body. Just feeling that, you know, the having this vibrant life. And I know this last year has been so dark and so hard for so many people. So I get that stress is a really big part of our life. So, just building in these small little practices and trying to be consistent. And it might not happen every day, but, giving yourself some grace and, just trying each day to be a little bit better than the next. And, I really feel passionate about, you know, small little habits over time producing big results. It's about the consistency. It is a practice.
Mhm. So I know you don't do the test and the doctor would do the test, but I just want to understand the type of test that you had to do to
Mhm.
understand, the toxicity you talked about or other
Mhm.
things. What kind of test did the doctor have you do?
I did a Dutch hormonal test. I've done the GI map stool test several times.
Okay.
Um, an oats test, organic acids test, just regular blood tests from the doctor to find out about certain heavy metals.
Mhm.
Um, and that comprehensive, the GI map test is really comprehensive because, I personally had some gut infections and candida in my gut and, had to do several protocols for those types of things. So there were a lot that was uncovered just in those tests, but there's a lot of functional medicine lab testing out there. And then there's also, sometimes it's not covered by insurance. So a lot of the time, you can go to your regular doctor and they can do stool, blood, or urine tests as well.
Okay. So GI map was the most important test that uncovered all the candida overgrowth, or was this kind of like combining the other tests as well?
Yeah, for me and what I was going through personally, that test actually, that and the Dutch test, the Dutch hormonal test, uncovered a lot to then know what to do to move forward on the protocols. That worked for me. And I think testing is really important. I don't necessarily think that it's the first thing that you need to do. There are simple things that you can do to try to remove certain triggers and just kind of kickstart your healing journey with things before you have to go test. I think it's really beneficial. And if you can do it, if you could make it happen from the start, great, but not everybody can. So I don't want people to feel discouraged if you can't do that. There's definitely things that you can do in your diet and managing your stress levels. And like we talked about, building a healthy sleep hygiene regimen and ritual and moving your body and, to really support, optimal health.
Sure, sure. So, all right. So we're talking about managing your diet properly with the right kind of foods, feed yourself. And then you talk
Mhm.
about sleep, stress management, movement, right? And the
Mhm.
relationships to bring joy to you. These are the
Yeah.
at least five overall framework that the functional medicine talks about. And actually, Ayurveda is nothing but a modern functional medicine, right? We talk a lot about Ayurveda, in our talk shows,
Mhm.
but Ayurveda also talks about the same things. Actually, all these natural therapies, they talk about the similar kind of a concept.
Yeah, absolutely. Sort of this holistic idea of looking at your body and your
Mhm.
mind and your, you know, and the spiritual part of your life. So yeah, and the other thing that I like to build in with looking at your diet is like we talked about, sort of the gut health aspect. And then one other thing that I like to look at with clients, if they are struggling still, and maybe they've done some of these other things that we've talked about, is taking a look at their environment. You know, there's a lot of toxins out there, and that can really affect, you know, our hormones and allergies and inflammation, and, really make us not feel well, and have a lot to do with some of the symptoms that you're feeling. So I help people kind of take a look at what's in their home, cleaning products, personal hygiene products, and things like that. So like you said, a whole, like, it looks at the whole, keeps it fun and interesting too.
Absolutely. And you're absolutely right. I personally had such bad allergies, like 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, my eyes were like coming out of the potatoes, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. And I eat pretty healthy. So I had to go see an acupuncturist, who had to fix me and gave me some Chinese herbal medicine. But you're right, the environment we all live in, the toxins. I mean, how do you clean everything up? It's so difficult, so
It can be extremely overwhelming. I think people feel like, oh my goodness, where do I start?
yeah.
And the truth is you just start somewhere that you feel like it's doable. You just start, and if that feels like you don't have to go throw everything out in your home. Wait until something is empty, and then rather than buying that same product, try something new, and keep doing that with each thing. And before you know it, your laundry detergent and your cleaning products and your soaps and your makeup and hair, before you know it, you're going to have a big overhaul in the things that you're using, and hopefully notice a difference in how you feel.
Well, thank you so much for being with us and sharing your personal story. I think it makes it so real. And we want to tell people to embrace holistic medicine, embrace functional medicine, whatever you want to call it. This all have the same kind of framework, similar framework, I should say that. Anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up today?
Yeah, I think just, be your own advocate for your own health. If you feel like, people are telling you one thing, but your intuition is really telling you something else, just trust that, and, search for answers, and, hopefully you too will find yourself on your own health and healing journey. So, thank you for having me. If you have any questions or you're interested in this topic, you can give me a follow over on Instagram or Facebook at The Pure Practice LA. And you can always reach out. I'm happy to answer any questions or talk more about this.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Jackie. I know we had some technical issues, otherwise we would have had a live stream. So we had to go around a little bit today to get to Facebook Live. But anyone has any questions, once you watch this, you're welcome to put it in the comments in the Facebook itself. And if you need to reach out to Jackie, she's right here, and we can put you in touch with her if if there is anything. Well, thank you so much, Jackie, for being with us, and have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.